So good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Namaste and a very warm welcome to all of you to the Blub World Web Talks 206th episode. In the last 205 episodes, we have talked to, interacted with more than 3,000 school leaders on this very platform where they've shared their ideas, opinions, innovations, and what all new are they doing in the education space. तो नमस्कार, आप सभी का स्वागत है ब्लब वर्ल्ड वेब टॉक्स के 206 एपिसोड में। इससे पहले 205 एपिसोड में हमने करीबन 3,000 से ज्यादा शिक्षाविदों से इसी प्लेटफॉर्म पर बातचीत की और ये जानने की कोशिश की कि वो शिक्षा को कैसे बदल रहे हैं और शिक्षा उन्हें कैसे बदल रही है। So today we have an amazing lineup of guests today as well on a very interesting topic which has many different facets to it. आज का जो टॉपिक है या जो विषय है जिस पे बातचीत होगी उसके बहुत सारे आयाम हैं एंड हम बहुत सारे स्कूल लीडर्स से उसकी मतलब उनकी तरफ से उन्हें क्या लगता है कि उस टॉपिक पर किस तरीके का डिस्कशन होना चाहिए, किस तरीके का हुआ है, and is it something that's very positive for students or is it something very negative for students or is it somewhere in the middle? ये ढूंढने समझने की कोशिश करेंगे today. We'll be talking about the Common University Entrance Test, something that the government of India has launched in India. I think last year and this year we have the second CUET happening. But last year there were a lot of glitches and a lot of challenges that were faced after that. So let's see what the school leaders think about it. But before we start, just some ground rules. So the Blub World Web Talks is a timed platform. So once your speaking time is over, you might get muted. If you get muted, please don't get offended. It's just to keep the activity interesting and crisp for everyone. Secondly, this is a bilingual platform. So you can use English or Hindi, any of these two languages. Please don't use a third one because I might not get it. आप अंग्रेजी या हिंदी में से कोई भी भाषा इस्तेमाल कर सकते हैं जो आपके लिए कंफर्टेबल हो। बस ये ध्यान रखें कि जो आप सच में कहना चाहते हैं वो भावना बाहर आ जाए, वो आइडिया बाहर लोगों तक पहुंच पाए। So thank you so much everyone for joining us today this evening. Let's start discussing on CUET, the Common University Entrance Test in India. Is it a success or a failure? The reason why it's so harsh terms for this is pretty simple. Let's try to know from all of you that एक साल की उसकी जर्नी कैसी है और इस साल हमारी क्या उम्मीदें CUET से हैं. So let me invite the first speaker for today to start the roundtable. A very warm welcome to Mrs. Anita Goel, the principal of Durgaprasad Vidyaneketan from Kanpur, Uttar Pradesh. Anita ji, over to you for the next 3 minutes. Please unmute yourself and a very warm welcome.
As the topic is CUET, Common University Entrance Test. It's not a new concept. It's a first came into the beginning in the form of the Central University's Common Entrance Test in 2010 also. But that time only 14 central universities adopted this one. Now as per NEP also 2020 NEP is that emphasizes and states that admission to higher education should be done through a nationwide common entrance exam to ensure a unified. This is the main reason that we are thinking that this that the common CUET adoption of the CUET becomes only the reason because we have, as per my opinion, that if this CUET gets successfully launched, then only the standard of the education in the higher standard, the UG program, will also get successful.
I think ma'am is facing some technical issue. Let me move on to the next speaker for today. A very warm welcome to Dr. Hema Malhotra from Ryan International School, Jagatpura, Jaipur, Rajasthan. Hema ma'am, over to you for the next 3 minutes. Please unmute yourself and a very warm welcome.
Thank you so much. And a very good evening to all of you present over here. Word CUET, that is Common University Entrance Test, is it is very beneficial to the students. But at the very moment, because last year it started in the middle of the session, so there were some defects which could not be carried away. Children were not easily adapted to it, and so they did not realize its importance. For me as a principal and for me to guide my students, I would always suggest them that this is the best platform where they can choose their own subject with the best of the universities they want to go to. They can apply for any of the particular subjects. They can give the exam for that particular subject and move to the best of the universities where they dream for. Because if they score less in the board exams, there are chances they do not get the centralized best universities. So they have the best opportunity to give an exam of their choice of the subject and choose the best university. So they can give maximum number of tests also. It is not that they can give only once, they can give the test, they can give it a number of times also. So this is the best platform. It is also like the cutoff system, they will be stress-free by the cutoff systems of the board exams and the universities and the colleges, where the cutoff is going so high and they are not able to get the admissions. So equal opportunities will also be given to them. Now, like these last year, what happened that the CUET, which started in the middle of the session, it clashed with many of the festivals. It was a new kind of an experiment with one nation and one test, but it did not succeeded because it takes anything which comes new in the environment. It takes time for the acceptance. So naturally, I will never say it is a failure. It is going to take time. And it will be really wonderful opportunity for all the students to take this platform.
Thank you so much, Hema, ma'am. So you're very right in saying that there is always a challenge in the first year. हमेशा कोई चीज जब शुरुआत में बन रही होती है तो वो बहुत ज़्यादा hiccups होते ही होते हैं. There are teething problems that are there. But yes, you're very right that it will give a lot of freedom to students. If you were not able to perform that well in the board examinations, you have another chance to polish it up. Secondly, it gives the equal opportunity to everyone rather than, again, getting into that fight of CBSE, ICSE board challenge and board discrepancy that a lot of people, face, a lot of teenagers and students face. Multiple attempts are allowed. So this is also a good feature, whether if you're not able to perform once, don't worry, you can still get into some good university if you keep trying in the years ahead. And the one nation, one test theory, this is something that's actually more debatable when we get into it. It has a political connotation to it. That is it something that must be done when education is a state subject in the constitution? Should the central government or the federal government have all the rights? Or is it right to actually have a unified education policy that the NEP is right now trying to do in India? So thank you so much, ma'am. Let me invite the next speaker for today. A very warm welcome to Mrs. Chestha Saluja, the principal of Jai Public School from Ambala, Haryana. Chestha, ma'am, over to you for the next 3 minutes. Please unmute yourself and a very warm welcome.
Thank you so much for giving an opportunity on such a sensitive topic, that is CUET, whether it is a success or failure. First of all, in my opinion, we should try to give awareness in this direction to the students. Many students. The direction where the failure we will observe in the rural areas, because they are not having much awareness and about the type of coaching so that they can crack this, CUET on the platform. Although it's a positive attempt, if we think one nation and one common entrance test, but still it needs many aspects to be considered. For example, states are having different syllabi, variable syllabi, and availability of such type of coaching, awareness, difficulty level, and financial burden. Because financial burden on one side, so it will be less when they are giving one common entrance test. But secondly, like of coaching centers will be mushroomed according to that. And according to my view, if we talk about urban areas, so government should give a structured approach according to this. Many aspects that are untouched by the government, it still lacks, because no doubt the test has been announced, but still many aspects are there that has to be touched. So students are not much aware if we talk about rural areas, because I am working in a rural area, Adhoi. So students are not well aware about these things. They need much awareness. They just know, okay, हमने 12th कर ली, अब हमें बाहर जाना है. They are least aware about career opportunities, and CUET is the term. We are going to make them aware, and rightly you have touched a very nice topic, sir. Thank you so much. And I think so many aspects are there that we have to consider, and we educators should be unite in that direction. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Chestha. Let me try to summarize what you said and take some points ahead in the discussion. Student awareness is the current priority because when we typically talk of the rural portions of India or the rural parts of India, there's still a lot of challenge when it comes to career awareness and the kind of streams that people want to choose. Variable syllabi in different states is a big challenge right now. For CUET, when it's a common curriculum testing aptitude, it becomes a challenge that do you need extra coaching for it? And when you put coaching aspect into this complete examination, are we just creating another IIT behemoth or AIEEE behemoth, which already has a big coaching industry fueling this complete engine, which does not have a very good impact on the kind of education that goes to 11th and 12th class students. And I think a very important point that you touched on is financial burden that might get reduced since they're giving one examination, but coaching will actually replace it and make it super expensive again. So thank you so much, Chestha ma'am. Let me invite the next speaker for today. A very warm welcome to Mr. Manoj MS, the principal of Divine Light Public Inter College from Etawah, Uttar Pradesh. Manojji, over to you for the next 3 minutes. Please unmute yourself and a very warm welcome.
Talking about CUET, the way it is implementing this CUET exam was very much burden for the students. In my school, there were many students who were lacking the awareness about this exam, and many of the, I can say that many of the brighter students who were much good in the exams were panicking. Really, they are panicking. I am really with my fellow speakers that it is a good approach from our government. They are combining all the exams together and they're making a common platform for the students. But the few things which need to be sorted out is that the syllabus, for example, they have made some things like a student of social science. Why they are putting mathematics in it? Because he may not be knowing much about mathematics. That may be the reason he is opting for social science. Also, if we talk about the students from the rural background, they are really unaware about the things. Talking about the coaching institutes and the books and the publications which are the flooding the market, students are totally you can say that disoriented. They are not knowing where to look for the right material or which kind of exam they are going to face. And talking about the teachers are also not that much knowledgeable about these exams, because the teachers who are teaching mathematics, physics, chemistry, they are mainly looking for either board exams or IIT or JEE or NEET. They are not focusing on this CUET. Most of the teachers do not have even time for teaching all these things. So some of the students came to me, sir, we need some extra coaching for these things. So I questioned my fellow teachers that please, sir, can you help them? So they said, sir, we don't have time for the students. So in that scenario, I think this is a kind of a difficult situation in which the students are kept. These brighter students who are only panicking not because of the test, but they are panicking because of the structure of the test and what they are going to face. One more thing I want to say, uh, before implementing a test like this, uh, the government should have given 1 or 2 years of relaxations like that, so that the students can actually understand what they are going to face. Also, if we are talking about the urban area students are having many resources. They have YouTube, they have mobile phones, laptops, everything. So they can, even if they are not much good in studies, but with the help of these all things, they can give the exam and they can go for a good marks. But what about the students who are from the very rural background? They do not have all these facilities. So if you talk about my opinion, what I think is that government should have made some kind of system in which by which the students who are from every background can keep a same fight. They should be, I think, going with all the same strength with others. And whether you are there with the southern region of the India or northern region of the India, or you are going with any place, anywhere of the world, all should have the same opportunity of giving up that exams. Thank you very much, sir, for giving me the opportunity to talk on this subject. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you so much, Manoj. I think some very important points that you made in your conversation. I'll try to take some of them ahead. It's not that great of an option because it's currently increasing the pressure on students. It is not diffusing that; it's increasing the pressure because it has been just introduced. There has been no gestation period, no period where people could understand or get to terms with it. It's right now a surprise for everyone, and that surprise is really irritating for people, for students specifically. Syllabus is the real concern that has to be sorted first. You're very right when you say you cannot test a humanities student on mathematics, because the reason that they have taken humanities is because they know that they're not that good with numbers. So you have to make it an equitable field for everyone to compete. It cannot be, not everybody is trying to fight with language and numbers. There are other fields of studies as well. Structure of the test is the problem. Some relaxation period must have been there, and making it an equitable competition, at least making it a level playing ground, is a concern that has to be taken care of, which right now is not being done. So thank you so much, sir. Let me invite the next speaker for today. A very warm welcome to Mr. Alok Virmani, the principal of RNS World School from Jhansi, Uttar Pradesh. Alok ji, over to you for the next 3 minutes, and a very warm welcome.
Like we have been, must be talking a lot. I've been, listening actually by the sign language to all these speakers about the common university entrance test. Earlier we all know it was known as Central University Common Entrance, that is there. But we are talking of 3 sets of examination and it has been conducted once in a year, under again the National Testing Agency. I've just jotted down, few pluses as well as few minuses regarding this CUET. Like we have common platform for all. So this is one advantage of this. It has been conducted in various languages. 154 centers are there. Test in the subject you specialize in. As I said, very many languages. So there are 13 languages. So it caters to requirement of entire nation as such. And it will actually do away with the trend where we need to fight with cutthroat competition for more scores in class 12 for our admission to UG classes. So I think we can have a sigh of relief there. Weightage to class 12 marks have completely gone because of this. Various education board in India across its length and breadth, will be following distinct models of evaluation, coming from Kerala as compared to the 5 neighboring states that we have. So I think we can do away with that also, because the standard and the evaluation from one state to another state differs. So that's another advantage I thought of. And it is very easy for the applicant. He need not to run from pillar to post, looking for his seat, looking for the choice of his subject, his colleges, because he's been placed in one platform. Now, there are few drawbacks also, because if the optimist made the aeroplane, the pessimists were there who made the parachute also. The glass is always half full for some and half empty for another. So both things go side by side. It's complementary, the pluses as well as the minuses. So drawbacks, I said, it still has an eligibility, of 50% in class 12. Then you become eligible to sit for this examination. And of course, 45% for the reserve category. A nominal amount of fee is also being charged. So that can be also considered as one sort of a drawback. For PG courses, for the unreserved, and 50% for the reserve. The seat intake reservation is there for a special category of citizens of the country. I think that's a drawback that should not be there. It too has a cutoff percentage. So that cutoff percentage may be a deterrent for some of us. We all remember that when we had this MCQs test taken during the lockdown period when the COVID was at its height. So I think the class 12 as well as class 10 student did not flare so well. The pass percentage of CBSE result was as high as 97% pass. Otherwise, it's never beyond 80%. So MCQs do not get into the depth of the knowledge of a child. The analytical reasoning, the writing skills, cannot be substituted with the help of this. I also feel it will mushroom lot many coaching institutes like G, NEET and CAT, because everybody wants to. It is actually sidelining the board exams by the student. They may not give it that much of importance. Now this test will be based on NCERT because NTA is conducting, so it will be based on NCERT pattern. I think the state board will have some sort of a drawback. In fact, the education minister of Meghalaya also said that the state board of Meghalaya as well as of the other states also, their children will fail to clear this sort of a test. And last, I would like to state about SAT. It's a time test, scholastic aptitude test of exam, which gives a gateway to the admission in the College of USA. It has also been discontinued. They initiated it SAT, but later on they discontinued it. I think so. We need to keep our finger crossed. It's just the beginning. Let's see how it plays out. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Alok, for I think some very pertinent points that you made in this complete discussion. I'll try to summarize some of them. You typically started with talking about the National Testing Agency, the commonality factor, which actually is a good part of it. Various languages, nearly all 13 official languages of India are available in this test. So it gives a lot of access to people who want to do it in their own language. It will also reduce competition in the board examination. So it will diffuse a little bit pressure there. Institution-specific evaluation will come into place and must come into place. Easy for the applicant, eligibility criteria still is there, cutoffs still remain. So this is a negative point that we'll still be having cutoffs. MCQs will not test the depth of the knowledge. It's basically a shallow way of trying to identify that does the applicant have that kind of knowledge? And I think a very important point that you made is that it is based on NCERT curriculum. So state boards will always be at a disadvantage. And when we talk of unification in education, and we cannot give everyone a level playing field, a centralized test will not be a solution. You're very right into this. And I think a very nice example that you quoted, that even in the United States, the SATs have been discontinued. So I think some very pertinent and very important points. Thank you so much for sharing with us. We have now listened to all the speakers for once. We have heard their opinions. So I think it's now an open floor for all of you. If you want to add something, if your time was over, if there's a new point that you want to put forth in the discussion, please feel free to unmute and put your ideas through. The time limit still remains the same. So anyone who wants to add something, please feel free to unmute and share.
I want to ask a thing that if something is discontinued in America, United States, and our government is following the same thing, is they are showing they are trying to show something different, or they are trying to prove Americans wrong?
I think people will have very reserved opinions on this because it's a politically colored question. But yes, I think you're very right when you say that when something has been discontinued, why do we want to do it? Or what is the reasoning that we have? So Manoj, yes, you want to say something? Please unmute yourself.
Really, I want to say that in my school, as a principal, I personally talked to 10 to 15 students. They were very bright, and they were under so much stress that some students said to me, sir, why our government is doing such thing? Because I don't know how I'm going to face this test. If in my board exam I'm getting 90% of marks, and in case I'm getting less than 75% marks in this test, so how I'm going to face my parents? I'm already given one board exam. Now I'm going to give another exam, and now by getting good marks in my board exam and getting less marks here, how my parents will put me in good place? This is a really challenging question for me, sir, and I'm trying to figure out this year, for the coming batch, how I'm going to you can say counsel them for these type of questions. Anybody?
I think a very pertinent question that you have put on the floor, and if any of the principals want to respond, please feel free to unmute yourself. And I think it's very important that we all understand this, that if a student has worked throughout the year for giving that board examination, he's already secured those marks, he's put in that much of effort, why are we putting him through one more rigorous examination, and how does it typically help? I think Anita ma'am wants to say something. Ma'am, over to you.
Yes, Gaur sir. Actually, the exams are the process of, you can say that it's an ongoing process. Every part is related with the exam. If a student is going to appear in the board exam in class 12, now the next degree, for the next degree, it also give the exam. The exams means the enhancing the knowledge. Is the challenge of the enhancing the knowledge, what the knowledge that is gained from till the childhood till the class 12. Now it's time to that they have to present their all the knowledge, all the learning things in that common platform in the form of CUET, and they can judge in this way also.
Ma'am, I want to say one thing. Hema ma'am, you see, there are students who are from commerce background also, bio background also, humanities also, and practically, ma'am, somebody who is taking humanity, you can say that if they are from social science background, we can think that they are not good in mathematics or GK or reasoning like that. So if such thing which they haven't studied from a very long period of time and they are getting a chance to appear like that, so is this a justice for our students, ma'am?
Excuse me, sir. So
Yeah.
like uh, as we have entrance test for the IITians, for the medical entrance test, why is it not there that other people should also go undergo a test for the universities? See, I can understand that the aptitude test or the reasoning the children in 12th standard have not gone through. But with NEP, I think there should be some type of courses there should be there which should enhance their capabilities and enhance them to work on, means to actually means learn many things and give the exams. So like if a person is going for IIT, for medical, the entrance tests are there, for NATA, for everything there's entrance test for it. So why not for the common entrance test for all the other students as well?
Ma'am, I'm 100% agreeing with you. The only thing is that they have made 5 subjects. English is there, math is there, physics is there, chemistry is there for science students, and one optional subject is also there. Even they can choose physical education, computer science like that. So, and they have 3 other work experience subject also, three
Yeah.
additional subject also. So, is it not good if one reasoning or this GK type one small booklet is to be introduced so that they from the very 11th onwards
Yeah, that's what
they
I'm
start
saying.
preparing for that is what I'm trying to figure out, ma'am, ki how
Yes.
our government is going,
Yes, that government should have a
how they
proper
are
planning
these
for it.
policy makers when they will understand these things.
Yes.
Planning is
Yes,
required.
government has to do the
Without
proper
and they
planning.
should they suddenly they are coming with CUET suddenly
Naturally.
suddenly they are saying and ma'am, believe me, there are many technical glitches also. You see, the
Yes.
server is not working, and
Yes.
many a times the students have to go with their choices for more than 200 options. So all these things are, I cannot say for the urban students, but for the students who are coming from the rural background, they are not that much tech savvy. So for them, it is very difficult, and the talent which is hidden there in rural background, don't you think that somehow they are going to get defeated in their journey of life
Yes, that's true.
because of these policies?
I think a very
That's true.
pertinent point that you're making, that there has to be a plan, there has to be some kind of a reference document, make it some kind of curriculum, some kind of book that is there that they
Yes.
get quite in time. Because right now, what is happening is you're just putting them to test. There is no preparation time. They don't know what exactly are they going to answer there. And why should anyone and everyone talk about aptitude all the time? If somebody is specialized in humanities, let him focus there. Manoj wants to add something.
Sir, if you go and check out the CBSE website, there are many handbooks for teacher, handbook for students, and even handbook for principal, handbooks for everything. Why there is not a handbook for this CUET? So that from the beginning onwards, see, if you are making a competition, so that competition should be equal for all. And if everything is on computer, okay, now the student from, once again I will say, the students who are from urban area, they are good. Most of the there, even they will get good coachings also, get good some publications are also there. They are, see, market is there, so everybody wants to take profit from them. So my suggestion is that first of all, the government should make a certain manual type like this, which should be there for even the principal, so that they can guide the students, for teachers, and for the students themselves, so that they can go through it and they can understand what they are going to face. And one more thing I want to say, sir, the syllabus factor also to be considered. Then only we can have a healthy competition.
Absolutely, sir. Very important point that if you have a handbook for everyone, then why not one for CUET, and that also quite on time. So it was an invigorating discussion today, listening to all of everyone. We are nearly at the end of the session. But before this session comes to an end, we come from a very simple idea or a simple background. Blub World is an organization that works on a very simple idea of teens inspiring teens. Every month, we try to find out teenagers who are doing amazingly well in life and try to share their stories with many more teenagers across the world. Because we believe in something very simple, that people get driven by stories. And the problem is, we don't have new stories for teenagers. We keep telling them those old stories that don't inspire them, don't motivate them. And we just keep putting them to different sorts of tests rather than giving them some good direction for life, some good choices for life. So the idea is to do these sessions or do this Blub World Web Talks is basically to create a repository of democratic education ideas where people can learn from each other and try to implement things within their institutions. Thank you so much, everyone, for being a part of the Blub World Web Talks 206th episode. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, and if you want to attend the future sessions, open your audio, say a big yes, and thank you so much for being here with us today. Thank you.